welcome. I am unapologetically Eric. You can reach me on X at Eric Not Sorry or on Facebook at Unapologetically Eric. If you like this episode, please give it a like, share, tell your friends, and check out my other episodes. Do not keep me your dirty little secret. I hope you enjoy. Now let's get on with the show. How is everybody doing out there today? Sorry, it's been a while. I've been under the weather, but I am back. I am caffeinated, medicated, and never fucking regulated, so let's fucking go. What do you expect from the people that you elect? I don't care if they're mayor, governor, president. I don't care. When you go and vote, what do you expect from those people that you elect into office? Obviously, to do a good job, right? Now, we can all debate on what's a good job or a bad job or what thing you support. Okay, fine. I'm not going to discuss that here. But the point being, when somebody runs for office and is elected, you elect somebody, whether you chose that person or not, the number one goal that you hope that they do is a good job for you. Well, and me, and for everybody, right? And of course, like I said, depending on what they push, what they support, what they want to cut, and this and that, everybody's going to, have moans and groans or cheers and yays. It doesn't matter, right? But at the end of the day, you want them to do good for you and your society and, your town, your state, your country. Not fucking elsewhere, right? You elect people, you want them to do good shit here at home. Whether, like I said, your town, your state, the country, whatever. Well, did you know that there are certain politicians with a D next to their name who have recently said fuck you to all of that? They don't care if you're an American. They don't even care if they're an American. They don't give a fuck about America. They care more about illegals. Now look, I have said it before. We've all debated it, we've all talked about it and all this and that. The border and immigration and all that, it's a big muddy pile of shit, right? Whether you're for immigration or whatever, it's a shit show. And it doesn't matter who's been president or is going to be president. It has been a shit show for decades. And people have talked about it, but it's a wedge issue. If you don't know what a wedge issue is, Google it. But it's a wedge issue, so nobody wants to actually fix it. No, they don't want to do that. But somebody comes along and actually does want to fix it. Now, for anybody out there that's a first-time listener, thank you for listening. But my family are immigrants. Crazy! I'm an American, born here. But yes, half of my family are in the United States legally. They came here legally. My great-grandfather, I've told the story before. All of my relatives on one side of my family, outside of, a couple, they're not from America. They are immigrants. They came here for a better life, but they jumped through all the fiery covered hoops and paperwork and red tape and bullshit to get here and to do it legally and correctly and properly, and continue to do so. Millions upon millions of people do that every day. And that's awesome. I love it. I don't care what country you're from. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You do it legally? Thumbs up, bro. Cool. The problem is people come here illegally. Well, the Trump administration has cracked down on that shit, in case you haven't noticed. And they started a policy where they're going to start mass deportations. And, of course, I know you've heard a lot of people complain. And I'm not going to go down that road, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a great thing. But their policy is the worst first. So it's not, you turn on the TV and it's always, oh, this single mom just came here for a better life. Look, she needs to go too. Sorry, not sorry. But the policy of the Trump administration is they're not necessarily targeting and focusing on the single mom or the single dad that has been here for 30 years. Hey, if you get caught in the net, too bad. You had 30 years to clear your shit up, bro. But the main policy is they're going after the assholes that have been arrested. They have criminal histories, whether here in the United States, because for some reason we allow them back in our society after an arrest, or anybody that has been caught previously and has like a criminal past in other countries. Sorry for the pauses. I'm pausing here and there because I got a cough and I'd rather not do it in your ears. So hold on a sec. Now, yes, there have been good people rounded up. Well, they came here illegally, therefore they're criminals. Everybody who has come into the United States illegally is a criminal. You broke the fucking law just crossing the border, bitch. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't give a shit. You didn't come here legally. You are an illegal. Bye-bye. Pack your shit. Get the fuck out. I don't care where you're going. I don't care. Get the fuck out. You don't belong here. Don't care. Bye. But the big thing, like I said, they're pushing for the worst first. Get the hardened criminals, get the gangbangers, this, that, and whatever. Get them the fuck out. Now, there are judges. I don't call them judges. There are activists wearing robes that are getting in the way of this. There is federal law, established federal law, that if you are residing within the borders, the confines of the United States, and you are not here legally, you gotta go. That is the law. How can a judge say, no, what do I do now? No. Disbarred, get the fuck out. If a judge is deciding what laws to enforce and what laws to not enforce, you don't have a judge. You have an activist. It doesn't matter. It's black and white right there on the books. It's the law, people. Is this person in the country illegally? Yes. Okay. Do they? They're getting deported, right? Yes. Okay. That's the process. Get the fuck out. Now we got judges that are saying no. Disbar them. Remove them. Period. And I can hear people now, oh my God, that's totally fascist. No. They're a judge. They do not have the right to do that. Sorry. And then like that hoe bag in Wisconsin, what's her name? Hannah, whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. That fucking wheelbarrow. She actually knowingly had an illegal in her courtroom, knew that ICE was there to collect him and deport him, and she hid him in a jury room. How is this a judge within the United States? She knowingly harbored a fugitive, and she is crying, and people are supporting her. You knowingly harbored a fugitive. Just like that other fucking judge. Where was he? In New Mexico? Yeah. Him and his wife just got busted. I don't remember his name. It's not fucking important. There are pictures of him with a fucking gangbanger living with them. Yeah, people, a gangbanger. Like, from another country. And not like a gang of, like, people that, like, run to people's houses and mow their lawn and paint their shutters. No, like, murderous people. Like, killers and shit. Yeah, those kind of gangs. He had this guy living with them. There are pictures of this illegal gangbanger possessing firearms. Isn't this fucking This is a judge, folks. These people are supposed to be better than you and me. The fuck they are. And he got arrested. And of course his asshole's out there defending him. Fuck you two bitches. Fuck you pieces of shit. But back to my original thing. When you elect officials, you expect them to do shit for you and me and your community and the country. No, that's not what happens anymore. I'm sorry, if you're a Democrat, your Democrat Party is dead. What you thought the Democrat Party is, looking back in the early 2000s or the 90s, that party's dead, bro. Because you know what's happened recently? Yeah, you have Democrat officials leaving the country to go defend people who have been deported. Criminals, gangbangers. These Democrats have gone out of the country, out of their way to cry for illegals, criminal, gangbanger illegals. This is not a joke, folks. This is not the joke. When you turn on your local TV, your local news, which you really shouldn't, they're just, oh, so-and-so went here because he was illegally deported. Oh, I fucking love that. No, I have some information I'm going to go over with y'all and hopefully open up your eyes a little bit because the Democrats hate you. The Democrats hate Americans. Democrats hate women, that's for sure. I'll be talking about that in a future episode. But they hate Americans. They hate you. They don't want you safe. Why would they want to bring back an illegal who is in a violent gang? Why would you want to bring that person inside your home? Why would you want to bring that person back to your country? No, you want that person as far the fuck away from you as possible. Not these Democrats. No. And I love all these phrases. Due process. They want due process. First of all, motherfucker, you want to talk to me about due process, about some fucking border jumper? There are people, thank you, President Trump, but there were people who were in jail for January 6th. January 6th, the worst thing that ever happened. People were in jail for over 3 years without a court appearance. And you want to fucking talk to me about due process? Fuck you, Democrat. Fuck you. We had Americans. Sorry that got loud, but it pisses me off. We had American citizens in jail. I'm not saying that they were great, good people. My hands are in the air right now. I know I'm not on camera. You can't see me, but my hands are up. I'm not saying that the people didn't deserve to be arrested. I'm not going down that rabbit hole with y'all. I'm not. All I'm saying is there were Americans in jail without due process for whatever they may have or may not have done on January 6th. However, they did not get due process. But these motherfuckers are screaming about due process for somebody who doesn't even belong in the fucking country. They are criminals already just from coming over the border illegally. They are gangbangers, and these pieces of shit are screaming about due process. Are you fucking kidding me? Take your due process chanting and shove it up your twat. Because fuck you. I don't give two flying fucks about some bullshit due process for some border jumper. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. You, in my opinion, I know it's not an accurate statement, but in my opinion, you come here illegally, you don't have any fucking rights. As far as I'm concerned. I know it's not true, and unfortunately, they do. That's bullshit. You are not here legally. You don't deserve dick. But, unfortunately, the fucking cunts and the commies in this country love jerking off border jumpers. They fucking love illegals. So, of course, they've been giving them IDs for years and jobs for years and all this shit. Which brings me to this whole real ID bullshit. Go fuck off with your little star on your license. Really? If you weren't handing out fucking licenses to illegals all these years, you wouldn't have to fucking know. You wouldn't have to have this real ID bullshit. I mean, really, what's the point of all this? Hello? Don't give illegals IDs, and you wouldn't need this real ID bullshit. I mean, come on, people. Fucking wake up. But yeah, I've got some Democrats here. I have some information. I went to Grok. Because I've heard some names, and again, over the last few days, because I've been, this past week has just been a shit show, but I've been seeing and hearing stuff. So I want to go through the list. I'm going to give you, some information on some people that don't give a shit about Americans. Now, the first bullshit is about this Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Kilmore. And I love how they call him a Maryland resident. He was a Maryland dad. No. He is a gangbanger. You see the images online of pictures of his hand, and, you break down those images, and it stands for MS-13. If you don't know what MS-13 is, well, they're a group of fellas that you probably don't want in your fucking neighborhood. His wife or girlfriend, or whatever she is, some hoe bag, I'm sure, talked about how he was abusive and this and that, but yet posts pictures of him and put smiley faces over his tattoos. Well, bitch, why are you doing that? What are you trying to hide? Oh, wait, because he's a fucking gangbanger. Oh, that's okay. Well, he was deported to El Salvador. Now, the one thing you will hear about this guy is he was illegally deported to El Salvador. Okay, pause on that. He was not illegally deported. He was not. He was legally deported. He was due for deportation. Like, that's all good. However, the, quote, illegal part, he was not supposed to be sent to El Salvador. I believe that's what it was. Okay, wires got crossed. Balls got dropped. Okay, that's government. Shit happens. He's out of the country. He's not our fucking problem anymore. I don't care. Well, he wasn't supposed to go there because, he could possibly get harmed in the prisons. Why would I give a fuck if he died in jail? Why would I care? He's a gangbanger. Why do I give a shit if he gets fucking shanked? I don't care. He doesn't belong here. I don't give a fuck where they dump his ass off. Well, he wasn't supposed to. I don't care. I don't care. But you have this fucking dildo senator, a fucking U.S. senator. Don't you think a U.S. senator should care about, I don't know, America? Nope. Chris Van Hollen. Okay. He visited El Salvador to go hopefully see this guy, this asshole, and try to get his release. Representative Robert Garcia of California. Gee, you would think he would care about, American. Nope. Representative Maxwell Frost from Florida. Really? Representative Yasemin Ansari from Arizona. Representative Maxine Dexter from Oregon. Why? Why are these people, they literally planned on leaving the United States to go wah about some deported illegal gangbanger? Why? Why do they hate you? Why do they hate America so much? Why do they love these illegal criminals so much? I can understand, reverting back to the beginning of my episode here, I can understand Democrat, Republican, anybody sitting and being unhappy if someone who has been in the country, again, illegally, for a while, who has been an upstanding citizen, who, works and, isn't, outside of being here illegally, isn't a criminal. I can understand people coming to their side and saying, hey, this is the type of person we want here. And okay, look, there's laws. But I can understand why somebody would be really upset about a genuinely good person who is, like I said, an upstanding citizen, who, isn't a piece of garbage, getting kicked out of the country. I can understand why somebody would want to come to that person's defense. I get it. But why are elected officials in America coming to the side, the aid, the crying for known affiliated gangbanger criminals that are known for, I don't know, human smuggling, murder, rape, drug, Why? You have to ask yourself this, because if you don't, you're a fucking idiot. Because you have to ask yourself why. Put it this way, folks. Let's say you invited your neighbor into your house. You say, hey, come on in. We're going to have a couple of beers, or we're going to have some hot dogs. What, right? You invite your neighbor over. And they come to your house, and they smash all your dishes, and kick your dog, and spray paint on your living room walls. Would you want your neighbor to come over and come into your house ever again? I'm willing to guess no. I'm just willing to bet no. Well, don't tell your Democrat leaders because they're going to come by and demand that you allow your neighbor back into the house. Because that's exactly what's happening here. You have known, not just people here illegally, gang-affiliated garbage. They're just garbage. They're not even humans. They're fucking pieces of shit. They're garbage. They're getting kicked out of the country, and you have Democrats coming to their aid. Why? Why do they want to bring those people back? I can understand, like, if there was a bricklayer, a mason that was fantastic at their job, okay, didn't have his fucking documents right, okay, gets kicked out. He had no criminal history, never got a speeding ticket. I can understand somebody going, bro, we want that guy here. They're good people. Okay, I get it. That is not the quality of human being these Democrats are defending. Why are they defending gangbangers? Why? People, I don't care if you're a Democrat. You should look at these people and go, why are you defending somebody who is friends with people who smuggle humans? Like, for the sex trade. Why do American politicians want these people back in America? Why? Why do they want this shit here? Why? You have to ask them why. I have a conspiracy theory, but nobody wants to hear that. But you have to ask why. Why? Don't try Bud Dry. Sorry, stupid old fucking commercial. But seriously, folks, I get it. Somebody who's been here for a long time, okay, should have gotten their fucking shit straight, but never had a speeding ticket, no parking ticket. Okay, I can understand people crying and being upset about somebody like that getting kicked out. I get it. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but I can understand. But you have people defending criminals, like, blatant criminals. Why are these people so fucking important to the Democrat Party? Why? Why is that? I'm just baffled. I mean, actually, I'm not. I mean, because I've paid attention to politics long enough, so this shit doesn't fucking surprise me. But it sure as hell should surprise you. You should be going, wait a minute. I got a hard time paying my bills. I'm trying to get my kids into school, and I don't understand. You've got your day-to-day shit you're dealing with, and then you hear spots of stuff on the news, and you immediately think, oh, the Trump is bad, or Elon's bad, or Tom Holman, or Kristi Noem, they're all pieces. And then you listen to somebody like me that spells it out a little bit. Now, I'm not a fucking journalist, yo. I am not. I'm just an asshole with a mic that knows how to read, because luckily I'm a Gen X and not a Gen Z, because you had to know how to read in order to graduate high school back when I went to school. But it baffles me why so many people want these types of people here. Look, I don't want the Americans who are violent criminals in America. I don't want American murderers here in jail in America. No, I don't want them in the country at all. I want them in a fucking island somewhere. Wasn't there, a Jeffrey guy who had an island a while back? Yeah, there's already buildings there. I want all the violent criminals just to go to a fucking island somewhere. I don't even want them here. I don't want them on my soil. Because, fuck you. You killed somebody, get out. You don't belong here. Fuck off. But these illegals are getting deported. Now, again, I understand there may be paperwork issues, and they shouldn't have been sent to this country. Okay, they're out of my country. I don't care. I don't care. You came here illegally, you fucked up, and you fucked around, and now you found out. I don't care. I just don't care. You're heartless. You're right. I'm fucking heartless. I am so heartless that every time I see a story about some girl that gets raped by some illegal, I am a heartless fuck because I want him strung up by his fucking balls. Did you see just the other day, there was a 13-year-old boy playing outside. He's playing hide and seek with, I think, his 8 or 9-year-old brother. This 13-year-old boy was raped by an illegal who snatched him up in the woods and overpowered him and raped him. But that's okay, right? Those are the people we want here, right? These are the ones the Democrats are crying about. We got to keep these people here. No, people, no. These are not the fucking people we want. But why do they want them here? That's what you need to ask yourself. It's okay if so-and-so from whatever country comes here, they jump through the hoops, and, they help improve America, and they help improve, your neighborhood, your community. That's great. But they did it right. You have people that didn't do it right, and they have a lot of fucking baggage. Why do these officials want these types of people to stay here? Why? And why do they give a shit suddenly about the Constitution when it comes to somebody who's not even a fucking American? But yet they didn't give two fucks about the due process of anybody from January 6th. They care about the Constitution and the civil rights and civil liberties now when it comes to illegals, but where the fuck were they during all of those riots that burned Minneapolis, Los Angeles, all of them? You guys remember, it was just like 7 minutes ago. Why did nobody give a shit about the rule of law then? I've heard all through the last administration, nobody is above the law. Nobody's above the law. And then he pardons his own son. Really? Nobody's above the law. That's all I fucking heard the last 4 years with all this lawfare against Trump and his lawyers and whatever. And again, I'm not getting into it, whether it's good, bad. If you agree with it, if he's right, wrong. They all had no problem with it. And now they have a problem with it. Because it's a fucking double standard. Nobody was above the law the last administration, which is why so many Republicans and whatnot were under the scrutiny and the microscope of the DOJ. But now when things are flipped, nobody's above the law, right? Well, yeah, okay. I think I beat this fucking dead horse long enough. My throat is, I need a lozenge. Thank you for bearing with me. But seriously, folks, if you, I say this all the time, if you consider yourself a Democrat, I'm not going to, I'm not judging. All I'm saying is, if you think the Democrat Party is what it was in the 90s, the Bill Clinton era, no, that shit's long gone. That fucking boat is gone. You know who they're trying to push for president in 2028 on the Democrat ticket? AOC and Bernie Sanders. Not a joke, folks. I mean, maybe not Bernie because he's up there, but he's a commie. And so is she. Like, they're communists. They are open about being a commie. AOC, they are running her name to be president for 2028 on the Democrat ticket. She's a commie. What the fuck? So if you consider yourself a Democrat, you might want to look inward. I'm not saying jump to Republicans, because the fucking party thing's all fucked up. But if you are rah-rah to the D, bend over harder, because it's coming. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tolerating my ranting. If you like this episode, please, like, share, all that good stuff. Until next time, keep being you.